Hey, welcome to the tutorial on how to graph a hyperbola equation. So first off, hopefully you will notice that these particular hyperbola equations are in standard form. There is another video out there that I have that has one where it starts off not in standard form. If you'd like to peek at that, feel free. But this guy's already has the center and various information ready to go. We just got to find it. So the first thing I like to do is start off by identifying which direction I'm going to be drawing my hyperbola. So if you take a peek here, I notice that the y is first. So if I got a y first, I'm going to be drawing my hyperbola vertically, so up and down. And we'll go ahead and figure out some important aspects here. So we need to know the center. So you got to be careful here. So take a peek. You got the x term over here, you get the y term over here. So it'll be really easy to get these backwards. So if I'm going to find my center and my x coordinate, I got to talk about the guy that's with the x. So I'm switching the sign of that -3. I'm switching the sign of that +1. So I know my center is at 3, 1. So let's go ahead and draw that guy. Now technically that dot's not part of the actual drawing, but I kind of needed to get started. So for a hyperbola equation, the a squared, or number associated with the vertex, can be found underneath the first guy. So I know a squared is 4. And the b term, or the b squared term, is underneath the second one, always. So that's a 9. So if I square root both sides, I know that a is 2. That's where my vertices are going to go. And I know that b is 3. So I like drawing these with a box. Some teachers might have you do the asymptotes, their slopes, but this is for all intent and purposes doing that as well. So again, since the a equals 2 that we got came from underneath the y term, well then I'm going to go vertically, 2 units north, 2 units south, and those are my vertices. And since the b term was underneath the x coordinate, that means I'm going to move horizontally or along the x-axis 3 units, and 3 units. And then I'm going to draw a box around these points. I'll show you what the box is for here momentarily. So essentially all you need to do to create the asymptotes or asymptote slopes is to draw your asymptotes or dashed lines right through the corners of the box. See if I can do a decent job going the other way with these. One too bad. And then since we've already established that the hyperbola is facing up and down, it's just a matter of me drawing from my vertex towards my asymptote, from my vertex towards my asymptote, and the other half of the hyperbola, symmetrical of course, down here at the bottom. And bingo, got ourselves a hyperbola. So now technically the box shouldn't be there. Suppose you could go back and erase it if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it be. So we got another example over here on the right. Let's take a look at this guy. So the only thing I'd point out about the one on the right here is that it doesn't have a term underneath it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 down there. Now as far as the center goes, so I'm looking at no x coordinate with this guy. So I understood it to be a 0. And I'm going to switch my sign for the y. I got a -4. So the center of this particular hyperbola is at 0, -4. Now again, kind of skipped this little aspect. So I apologize for that. But since the x term is first, then I'm going to be drawing my hyperbola horizontally, right and left. But I still have to go through the same procedure. So if a squared is always first, I know a squared is 1. B squared is always second. I know b squared is 4. Square root both sides again. I know my distance from my vertices is 1, and technically plus or minus 1 because we're going to move right 1 and left 1 as well. For the drawing purposes, I don't think it's all that important to put the plus minus sign because we know we're going to do that. Okay, so from my center point, I know that, again, since my A term was underneath the X, I want to move horizontally 1 unit, horizontally 1 unit. And since my B term was underneath the Y, B is 2, that means I want to move along the Y axis or vertically 2 units. And let's see if I can squeeze a box around these guys. Okay, not my best effort ever, but you get the idea. All right, so vertical asymptote dash lines through the corners of the box. And we've already established by looking at that X term being first that we're going to draw this guy horizontally. Go with a different color here just for kicks. Horizontally towards my asymptote, from the vertex towards my asymptote, So there you go, another hyperbola. Not the best drawing I've ever done in my life, but hopefully you get the idea. Hey, thanks for watching.